Fallout in the feud between President Trump and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. The New York Democrats stepping up calls for the president to resign over allegations of sexual misconduct. The president's son, Eric Trump, dismissing those calls, suggesting that Gillibrand is a hypocrite and playing politics.
Hold it now.
Senator Gillibrand is with us now. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Let's talk about this tweet from the president yesterday. Among other things, he said that you had not long ago come to his office, quote, begging for campaign contributions, and added you would do anything for them. Let me be blunt about it. Did you interpret that tweet as a sexual reference, that you would trade sexual favors for campaign cash? Is that what the president was saying about you?
Well, certainly that's how I and many people read it, and it was certainly just a sexist smear.
I remember Kirsten Gillibrand when she came into his office every 3 days asking for money and asking for major campaign contributions. I mean, there's no one who wanted to get into his office more than Kirsten Gillibrand. So she follows the whole Schumer playbook, and again, it's a shame, but it's a distraction. I think we've gotten pretty good at tuning out distractions.
I've heard the testimony of many women, numerous accusers. I believe them, and he should resign for that. I think Congress should do an investigation because we need accountability, and women aren't going to be silenced right now. And as we just saw in Alabama, women are not going to be silenced. African American women are not going to be silenced, and they came out in numbers.
I do want to go back to this tweet for a moment, though, because the White House press secretary said anyone who interprets this in a sexual manner should, quote, get their minds out of the gutter.
Cecilia.
Thank you, Sarah. The president said today that Senator Gillibrand would do anything for campaign contributions. Many people see this as a sexual innuendo. What is the president suggesting?
I think that the president is very obvious. This is the same sentiment that the president has expressed many times before when he has exposed the corruption of the entire political system. In fact, he's used similar terminology many times when talking about politicians of both parties, both men and women, and certainly in his campaign to drain the swamp. The system is clearly broken. It's clearly rigged for special interest, and this president is someone that can't be bought, and it's one of the reasons that he's president today.
All this amid backlash from Democrats over a tweet from the president reading, quote, lightweight Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, a total flunky for Chuck Schumer, and someone who would come to my office begging for campaign contributions not so long ago, would do anything for them, is now in the ring fighting against Trump, very disloyal to Bill, and crooked, used. Gillibrand then calling the tweet a sexist smear. But the White House says it was not about sexism, pointing out the president has used similar language about men. Here are some of the tweets backing up that quote. Senator Bob Corker begged me to endorse him for re-election in Tennessee. I said no, and he dropped out, said he could not win without my endorsement.
Is your mind in the gutter if you took it that way?
No.
He's not alleging anything. He's talking about the way that our system functions as it is, that politicians repeatedly beg for money. That's not something new, and that comment, frankly, isn't something new. If you look back at past comments that this president has made, he's used that same terminology many times in reference to men. There's no way that this is sexist at all. This is simply talking about a system that we have that is broken, in which special interests control our government, and I don't think that there's probably many people that are more controlled by political contributions than the senator that the president referenced.
Gillibrand doubling down on her criticism of the president.
He is a bully, and he's been attacking different people across this country since he's been president. He says whatever he wants whenever he wants. I don't think that level of discourse, however, is what this country wants.
He does say whatever he wants whenever he wants.
Yeah, but I also didn't hear her deny that she was in there asking.
She didn't say I didn't ask.
Yeah, that she was. I mean, did she go to the Trump Tower? Was she, asking repeatedly to, have donations and support me and endorse me? I mean, she didn't answer that
And
question.
if Trump gave her money, should she give it back based on her newly found moral high ground that she's trying to champion?
What I'm seeing today and what this election of Doug Jones is about is a statement by particularly women, African American women, and the African American community coming out and saying we are going to vote our values. And you have to put this in context. 50 years ago, 4 little girls were killed by the KKK.
I know that, Your Honor, but I want you to give me 20 years
I gotta have 20 years. I can't go back on parole. Not with that man. The man's a racist. He's an animal, Your Honor. I mean, he looks black, right? But he ain't black. He's white as you are. Okay, I'm telling you. He treats black people like dog food. Yeah. 4 years I've been on the road as hell. It's worse than being in the Ku Klux Klan, being under that man.
He wakes up and you're saying that he's tweeting about the campaign finance system. Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about the fact that she's controlled by special interest. I'm talking about the fact she's a wholly owned subsidiary of people that donate to her campaign. She's a puppet for Chuck Schumer. I'm talking about a number of issues that she has, none of which make her an independent individual, but more somebody that is controlled by people that help donate money to her cause. That's simply all I'm stating.
What reform does the president want?
Look, the president's been talking about the need for us to put a stronger ban on lobbyists participating in the government process. We've taken a stronger ethics pledge under this administration than previous administrations. I think those are some of the first steps.
Some of the accusers of President Trump have come forward again recently, this week, publicly, because obviously they came out before the election and he was still elected, and the White House points to that a lot. Do you think times have changed in a year such that these accusations will be listened to in a different way now?
Yes, I do. I think this is a moment in time unlike any other. With the Me Too movement, women are feeling the ability to tell what happened to them, some of the worst moments they've lived, and tell it publicly. And that is powerful, and it is affecting everything, and people are looking for justice. You are seeing quick justice, whether it's in Hollywood or in corporate America or in Congress. And so what we can do is make sure that we continue to speak out.
Would you call on leadership to join your calls for Senator Franken to step down?
I have expressed my views in a detailed op-ed that you can now have access to. I do not feel that he should continue to serve. Everyone will make their own judgment. I hope they do make their own judgment.
Of course, this is about politics. She wants to run for president in 2020. Hillary Clinton is now out of the way. The Democrat Party has now found their moral compass on the Clintons, so they've been pushed aside in terms of defending Bill Clinton for 2-3 decades over his bad sexual misconduct behavior.
Yeah. And
now she called for Senator Al Franken to step aside, not because she actually cares so much about his behavior, but because if she does that, there's an equation that goes on that means that the president, of course, then has to step aside, which is why she's asking for the resignation.
Let me go back to the tweet for a moment, and let me be devil's advocate. Bear with me here. The president tweeted this after you called for his resignation and essentially said you believed those who were calling him someone who sexually assaulted them and molested them and harassed them. That's a tough political attack. You played hardball. Doesn't he have the right to do the same?
The president says whatever he wants whenever he wants. I don't think that level of discourse, however, is what this country wants. I think what he has done is it's unacceptable. And if you put that in the context of multiple accusers who have accused him of sexual assault and sexual harassment that are credible, you need accountability. And I think what people do want is accountability, and he should resign.
Did the president have to respond with a tweet to that?
Well,
no. Was it a little bit crass? Yes. Did it have language in it that he's used against men? Yes. And feminists have to make a choice. They either want to be treated like men, as they claim, and then when they are treated like men, not complain, or they need to say that we want to be treated differently. You can't have it both ways.